Good morning. Welcome to morning practice. I'm Olivia. Thank you for joining me on Tuesday, April 2nd, as we move into April of 2024. And the eclipse next week is a lot of energy. We're in a time of great transformation, and the eclipse is really bringing a lot of that energy with it next Monday, April 8th. We kind of have this beautiful crescendo of points between the vernal equinox, the lunar eclipse on the 25th of March, this solar eclipse in April, and then the Jupiter-Uranus conjunction on the 20th. And it's bringing about a lot of energy. And there's a lot of talk about different aspects of what is happening in this process of transformation. I think it's really important to remember that we are, and this is what we were focusing on yesterday. We're also being invited to not step into the engagement of polarization and more aggressive reactivity to the energy is playing out around us. This is a really great opportunity to slow down and really slow down, which is why morning practice is good, such a great tool and vehicle. Not necessarily morning practice in this form, whether or not you're choosing to join me and share what I'm sharing today, but your own practice, your own daily practice, even when you wake up in the morning, that sort of first 15 minutes to an hour is really sacred time. And where your mind goes and where your focus goes and our attention and energy sort of create the setup for what we may experience during the course of the day. And also just to have time when we are coming into consciousness after being asleep to really give ourselves the moment to check in with ourselves and feel into how the heart is feeling. What are the main feelings that come up when you initially wake up? And by really giving yourself some attention and focus on how you're feeling first thing in the morning, you can bring a greater awareness to how you inhabit yourself for the rest of the day, and also how you are speaking to yourself and interacting with others around you. So in our morning practice this morning, we're going to keep it a little slow, I think, today. After practice yesterday, a series of events unfolded. Just classic. I mean, it couldn't be more classic Mercury retrograde stuff to do with, communication and electricity and ability to communicate, and things being changed unexpectedly, suddenly. Nothing, it was all quite fun, and the invitation again in slowing down and not forcing things to be the way you want them to be, but allowing them to come through as they are, gives you the opportunity to appreciate things in a completely different way. And I was definitely given the opportunity to not just appreciate the beauty of the morning from a different perspective than I normally do on a Monday morning, but also it led to a chance meeting with an old teacher who I was just so grateful to see. And that opportunity would have never come about without all the disruption. And then, you know, just the way the whole day unfolded, because this was something that affected my whole day, it deepened my appreciation for where I live, because I was able to experience San Francisco in a way that I was sort of forced to, but also at the same time, it was lovely, you know, revisiting places I haven't been to for a while and feeling the energy. And it was a beautiful day. So, yeah, if things become disrupted or plans become frustrated, allow yourself to surrender to it and look for the hidden gold. And it's actually not that hidden. It's just really the gold is there. And in fact, you know, the gold is there all the time. And what these disruptions and obstacles lead to is being able to see the gold in a way that we can't, that we're sort of blind to it normally because we're so fixed on this is what I'm going to do, and then I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to, so that you just completely miss the gold. You don't even see it. You know, it's not, you're so fixed. I think, you know, we can talk about eclipses and astrology and human transformation and everything that's happening in this year. But at the end of the day, what's truly important is allowing that surrender to deepen, surrendering to what's happening in order to deepen our authenticity, first and foremostly with ourselves. And to breathe and take time to see what's in front of us that we are blind to. What we're blind to inside of ourselves that gets revealed when there's disruption, what we're blind to outside of us that might have something to really offer us. So really leaning into surrendering, if you find surrendering and slowing down. I think I you know, because we can surrender and be a bit frantic in surrendering, but really like surrendering consciously, like surrendering with intention. That's really where I'm going with that. So, and you know, it's Tuesday. We have a couple days to discuss the energies of what's happening next week. But it's not just next week, right? It's not just one day. You know, we can get very fixated on a date. And yes, the eclipse itself is happening on April 8th. Yes, the period of totality is during the course of that day, 11:22 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. But, you know, don't allow your inner authenticity to be dictated by external events or circumstances. That's what I'm suppose I'm trying to get across. This is such a potent time, irregardless, and you're going to feel and be a part of it irregardless simply by being human. So having a morning practice, having a daily practice of giving yourself some stillness to breathe, meditate, to maybe do some movements, really becoming present with the self. That's a beautiful act of self-care at any point, no matter what is going on. But especially when we're navigating difficulty, it's really about dropping in and not letting the difficulty dictate the circumstances that we find ourselves in, not letting the difficulty dictate our reaction to it. We can always choose to react from a place of love. I realize I'm talking a lot again. I hope you're bearing with me. I am truthfully really reconsidering whether to continue offering morning practice as an operation, as a project. Certainly, I haven't really seen any sort of feedback or participation that has encouraged me to feel like it's really something that's of use to anyone. So it's of use to me, and I get an enormous amount out of it, and it's beautiful. But there comes a point where one asks the question, why am I making something public that really no one else is really participating in? So I'd really appreciate it if anyone is listening to this and participating in an active way, that it's meaningful to you to let me know that, because I'm going to make a decision by the end of this month whether to continue or not, offering as a public practice. And I will continue my journey as a spiritual being in whatever capacity that feels right from that point. So let's take a moment and we'll just get into practice now. But I just wanted to mention that. And we'll go into meditation. I braved not wearing my huge jumper today. And of course, it's a little bit chillier when you sit still for a while. So, but let's just be with the elements. I'm glad I brought the scarf. I might even wrap the scarf around me just for a little bit more warmth. Um, Lost my hat yesterday. Just all these, you know how many hats I lost in 2023, and now including the one in 2024. It's just, it's extraordinary. I don't lose hats for years and years, and then I lose about 5 in 1 year. It's incredible. Anyway, so I'll just find a comfortable seat, sitting tall on the spine, letting the eyes come to close. And just notice anything that might be whirling inside of you. And as you notice any thoughts or feelings, reactions, just acknowledging they're there, but also intentionally turning our focus away. And it's so useful to just focus instead on the physical self, the sensations of the body, the sensations of life force moving through you. And you may want to bring your hands to a position where you can hold your heart center, Anjali Mudra, you can leave your hands in your lap. And let's, as we hold our hearts here, or just let our awareness hold our hearts, let's just all take a big breath in through the heart and sigh out. And as if you were just releasing for a moment anything you might be grappling with, anything that might be swirling around inside you. Inhaling through the body and feeling your body fill with your inhale. And as you exhale, just let it go. And in the letting go, let's bring a quality of self-forgiveness. We are hard on ourselves in many ways. We are probably the hardest person on ourselves internally. We may think others are hard on us, but that's really just a reflection of their own internal state, and that's not you. That's them. It's how they are internally with themselves. And remembering that you have so much compassion for others, so much love. We all are so hard on ourselves, and whether we project that out or whether we just continue to be hard on ourselves and project out love. Let's just all take a moment in this morning's meditation to forgive ourselves for whatever shortcoming or judgment or lack of patience or disappointment that we're somehow maybe blaming ourselves for. And to remember that here and now in this moment, seated, breathing, we have everything to be grateful for, everything to be appreciative of, this body, our communities, the people in our lives, this planet, this world. Just noticing, breathing. If the microphone is picking up that construction noise that just started, let's just notice it together. And let's just come into silence, feeling the heart center. And again, anything that you need to forgive, release, let go. Taking a deeper breath in and letting the hands fall to the lap, softly opening the eyes. Let's take an opening Om together. So we'll inhale to Om. Om. Gonna have us go over to the mat and start the music, because if the microphone is picking up that construction noise, my apologies. I can't see what's happening out there, but it's loud and disruptive, which happens to the best of us. So we're head over to the mat. With 2 blocks can be useful for practice. Blankets for underneath the knees. Let's head over there, and maybe we'll just get into some movement. Put the blocks towards the top of the mat. This is not properly rolled out. And let's come to Virasana, which is sitting on our knees. Okay, I really like to support my hips here with a block underneath my sit bones and sort of just between my heels. And let's feel the feet flat on the floor. So you can even take the palm of your hands and just press it into the bottom of your feet, just feeling that palm. Feeling the outer edges of the feet curl towards the floor, and that's just find quietness here, sitting in Virasana. Then you're going to take your hands and make 2 fists, and you're going to put the fists right right at the hip points, right at that crease where the hip and leg are. And then as you press your fists into your belly, you're just gonna fold forward onto the fists, letting your head come down. If your hips raise off your support, that's fine. Just massaging our stomach for a moment. Then you can come back up. And placing the fingertips either side of the hips. And let's breathe in some gratitude for our bodies and for ourselves and for our communities and for this planet. So we'll take 3 breaths. Inhaling, arms overhead, hands come to prayer, prayer comes to heart, just offering gratitude for this amazing physical vessel, the body, receptor of pleasure, receptor of sensitivity, receptor of reactions, and trying to have a sense of humor about it all. The body is such a beautiful instrument of consciousness and so full of useful information about how we're navigating. So grateful for all it does. Thank you. And inhaling, our arms come overhead, hands come to prayer, prayer comes to heart. Just again, offering love and gratitude for every single person on this planet, whether they are known to us or not. Each one contributing their energy, their attention, their focus, their work, their creative gifts, how we support each other, even when we don't know each other, the work that we do. Thank you to all beings everywhere. And inhaling, arms come overhead, hands come to prayer, prayer comes to heart. Just offering sincere love and gratitude for this planet. All it does to nurture and sustain us. It's great beauty, it's great, beautiful sentience and wisdom. And you can let your hands fall to your lap, and we'll come up onto our knees. You can just put the block to one side. And then from our knees, we're going to take the left leg out to the left, just letting, so you're balancing on your right knee and your left leg is out. I'm actually going to move a little bit this way so my foot stays on the mat properly. And my foot is parallel, but it's, whatever feels positioned. Don't force your body to do something that isn't comfortable. But yeah, my left foot is at a slight angle pointing, but it's the intent is parallel with the edge of the mat, but it's at a slight angle because that feels more supportive. And we're just going to be here, and you're going to reach your arms out to a T. And just let your left arm fall onto your left leg, and going to reach that right arm up and over. Feeling the stretch along the right side body. And then we'll reach our arms to a T again. We're going to let that right hand come down to the mat, reaching the left arm up, and let's reach the left hand up and over, and just gazing up underneath the hand, underneath the arm. And then you may want to just make sure, you kick out that right shin for some support. Lift the left leg. And I will just move this because it's probably not helpful. And then you're just finding your balance here, sort of like a mini half moon from your knee. And if you want to take that ankle and just let the gaze fall up towards the ceiling. into a slight back bend. And then we're going to let that go. Can revisit the shapes, and we'll come back to kneeling. I'll move a little to the side, and then the right leg will come out. And let's just feel this for a moment. Reaching the arms to a T and leaning over. Feeling the stretch along the right side body. You can see my microphone popping up here. Let's try and hook it there. And then bringing the arms to a T, you're going to bring that left hand down, right arm comes up and overhead. Just feel that reach for one moment, and then reaching the arm. And then we'll lift the leg. And if you want to kick out that left shin so it's just a little bit more supported, and we'll just find the balance here, sort of like a mini half moon pose. And if you want to take the ankle here and lift the chest to the ceiling, the gaze, kicking back into that hand if you would like to take the bind. Just finding your abdominal support as you find your balance. And then we'll put the hand down, reaching the arms overhead, coming back to our knees. And then we'll turn to face the top of the mat, pressing the hands down, lifting the tail and chest, curling the tail and chest, and lifting the tail and chest, and curling the tail and chest. And then we'll tuck our toes under and press our hips back up into a downward dog. Again, downward dog at the wall is always an option if being inverted is uncomfortable. You're really pressing into your hands here, probably pedaling out the feet. Take it easy in the first downward dog of the day. Walking it out. And then walk up to the top of your mat, into a forward fold, letting the body drape on the thighs, letting the weight just rest, and feel the front of your torso in contact with the top of your thighs. And then slowly rolling up the spine, coming to stand at the top of the mat. You may want to have both blocks at the top of the mat. And when we come from a forward fold into our halfway lift, it can be useful to have the blocks here if reaching the floor where the shins isn't comfortable. This can really give you more extension in the spine. So placing the blocks at the top of the mat, if that's a useful place for you, and bending over, nodding the head again, maybe moving the hips a little bit, and then curling up to stand. Let's reach our arms overhead, hands come to prayer, and then come down into your forward fold, lifting the spine halfway, reaching the crown forward. And then we'll step the right foot back. The right knee will come down. And let's just drop into our hips here in a low lunge for a moment. And we'll just find that stretch in the front of the right hip. The right foot is back. You can untuck the toe. And as you're ready, we'll press up into our low lunge, Anjaneyasana. Reaching the arms skyward, lifting the chest. Pressing into that front left foot, pressing into the back left shin, the back foot. So you're really finding that dual action of pressing and reaching. And then you'll bring your hands down on an exhale to your heart center. And you're going to twist to the left, hooking that right elbow over the left knee. And just let yourself find that twist. Feeling the elevation of the heart, pressing into your hands. And then we'll release the twist. Hands can come either side of the foot. You're going to tuck that back leg and move the knee back a few inches, and then just straighten the front leg to a very gentle half split. Rolling a little bit on the heel, then inhaling, really lengthening the spine, exhaling over the leg, and inhale and exhale, and then inhaling again and exhaling. We'll inhale, rebending the front knee, placing the palms down and stepping that front left foot back to a plank. From your plank here, we're just going to lower to the ground. You can place your knees down and come to the earth and just allow yourself to rest here for a moment. Hands are just underneath the shoulders. And all together, we're going to press our hip points into the ground and then press our hands into the ground. Just a very small back bend, just reaching the chest forward, trying to keep the back of the neck long, so looking straight down. And then come down to the ground, and you're going to press back up to a downward dog, lifting that right leg and bringing the right foot between the hands, letting the left knee come down. And again, let's just drop into that hip, really finding the hip and releasing the foot. Feeling the stretch along the front of the hip. And then when you're ready, we're going to inhale up into our low lunge. So pressing into that front right foot, reaching the arms, hands come to prayer, and you're really pressing that back shin towards the mat, pressing the front foot down and reaching the arms up, really feeling the extension and the reaching up on either side of the body while you're pressing down through your foundation. Take an inhale here and exhaling, bringing your hands to prayer in front of your chest. We'll twist to the right, hooking the left elbow on the right knee. Allow this to be a gentle twist, trying to keep the chest elevated above the hands. And then we're going to release that. Tucking the back leg, moving the back knee a few inches back, stretching out the front leg to a very gentle half split. And again, just rolling on the heel a little bit here. And then we're going to inhale, extend the spine. Exhale, fold over the leg. Inhale, extend the spine. Exhale, fold over the leg. Inhale, extend the spine. Exhale, fold over the leg. And then we'll rebend into that front foot. And then lifting the back knee, we'll bring the back foot forward to the front, letting the body fall.
keeping a generous bend on the knees so the body can rest on the torso. And just feeling your forward fold here for a moment. Your next inhale, reaching the crown of the head forward, feeling the length of the back of the leg as the hip bones press up. Feeling that right angle that your body is trying to embody. And then exhale, release into your forward fold, and inhale. Come up to standing. Hands come to prayer. Prayer comes to heart. I'm just going to check the time because I brought a clock, but I just want to make sure that it is correct. Okay, it is. All right. Isn't that funny how we second guess ourselves? Inhale, the arms come overhead. Exhale into your forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, let's step the left foot back. Left knee comes down. Come right up into your low lunge. On your exhale, bring your hands down into your twist. Exhale in to straighten the leg. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, fold. Then we'll rebend the knee, step back to a plank. Come down to the ground. And just inhaling, cobra. Exhaling, back to a downward dog very briefly. Laying the left leg up. Left foot comes between the hands. Right knee comes down. Inhaling straight into your low lunge. Exhaling, hands come to prayer at the heart. Inhale into your twist. Trying to keep the heart over the hands, above the hands. And then exhaling, hands will frame the foot as we straighten that front leg. Inhaling, lengthening the spine. Exhaling, folding. And then rebending into that front leg. Let's bring feet together at the top of the mat. Folding. Inhaling, halfway lift. Exhaling and folding. And inhale, coming to stand. Hands come to prayer. Prayer comes to heart. Hands come to the side. Let's inhale. Reaching the arms up. Exhale into a forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. This time we're going to step back to a plank. And just feel your plank, straight line of energy from your ankles to your shoulders. You can put your knees down if plank is uncomfortable. And then we're exhaling down to the ground so you can place your knees down or come down as a straight line. You may want to take your cobra a little higher and then exhale. We'll press back to a downward dog. And we'll hold this downward dog for 5 breaths. And just allow yourself to explore this a little bit more. Make sure the position of your hands are strong. The hips are lifted. Feeling the back of the legs. Sighing, breathing. You can bend into one knee, bending into the other knee. Just allow yourself to really, I like to bend into both knees so I can really lift the tail. And then keeping the length in the spine with the tail lifted, letting the feet fall toward the ground. On your next inhale, you're going to bend your knees and look forward and just step to the top of the mat, folding into your forward fold. Inhaling, arms overhead, hands come to prayer. Prayer comes to heart. Let's take that again. Inhale. Lifting the chest. Exhale, forward fold. Inhaling, straight spine. Exhale, step back to a plank. From plank, you can lower all the way to the ground or put your knees down. We'll take a inhale, cobra. Exhale, back to the ground and pressing back to downward dog. And we'll stay here for a few breaths again. Just feeling the length, bending into the knees, lifting the tailbone, feeling the energy line from the tip of the tailbone right through the crown of the head. The spine lit up by the fire of your energy. And inhale, bend the knees, look forward, stepping to the top of the mat, into the forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, folding, and coming up to stand. Hands come together, hands come to the heart. Okay, and we're going to step out to a 5-pointed star. Bending in the knees, we'll come to goddess pose. And just hold this for a moment. And then pressing into both feet and both hands. We'll switch the feet so that the left foot is pointed towards the left side of the mat and the right foot is parallel to the right edge. I'm going to bend into that knee, come into your warrior two. Take a moment here to breathe and feel your warrior two. Really feel the strong foundation of your feet pressing into the earth. And inhale, reach forward. Exhale, let's reverse the warrior. Just allowing the length of the left side body to extend. And then inhale, back to second warrior, reaching forward, forward, forward. And then here the hand can elbow can come to the thigh, hand can come to the block, or hand can come to the floor. Just maintain the openness and length along both sides of the body as you reach your arm up and over, allowing yourself to gaze up under the arm. If you want to take a half moon pose briefly, and we'll fit that into practice today, your hand will come to your hip. You can look down, you can take a block and put it in front of your foot, in front of the mat, and then bring your weight into the block and into your foot while reaching the back leg back. I'm trying to look at the camera and balance at the same time. Your toes of the lifted leg should be pointing directly forward. Your arm can be lifted here. Any support that feels right to you. And if you would like to also take a bind in your half moon, you can do that, really kicking back into the hand and pointing the chest sort of downward and forward in this version. And you can release that. Oh, I fell out. Which is always good, as we were saying yesterday, falling out of balance helps the body understand how to balance. And we'll switch legs. So bring a block to the back side of your mat so that you have it. I'm just gonna scooch this way so I can actually have room to do the pose. So let's go to warrior two first. And just feel that for a few breaths. Bending into that right knee, left leg is straight, and really feeling the energy being drawn up through the active engagement of the legs. Gazes to the right. Really activating the arms as if you were pressing down and up at the same time, which is like imagine someone was trying to press your arms down and someone was trying to press your hand up at the same time. You really want that kind of active, energized Strengthen your arms without lifting the shoulders. There's so much to be aware of, right? We're inhale, reaching forward, coming back into your reverse warrior. Again, this is just a really great opportunity to feel the length of the right side body. And we'll come back to our warrior two, reaching forward. Again, elbow can come to knee, hand can come to block, hand can come to floor. Just keep the extension on both sides of the body nice and long and open for your side angle pose. Really feeling that line of energy from the edge of the left foot to the tips of the left fingers. And again, if you want to take half moon on this, bring your left hand to your hip, right hand comes to a block in front of your foot, and you're really pressing up. Just see if I hit the table. Again, really energizing that back leg so that it's really nice and firmly shooting straight out behind you with your toes pointing forward. Arm can come up. And just feeling the balance of your half moon here. It can be helpful to look down if you're having problems with balancing, or to explore the gaze in order to, again, just like deepen your relationship to what it is to balance. And again, if you want to take a bind, oops, I'm pulling out. But the thing is about with falling out, you don't learn how to hold a pose without falling out. So you have to allow yourself to be willing to fall out of things in order to learn how to hold them. It's a sort of wonderful yoga life parallel, right? But of course, not to hold anything too tightly. Okay. We're coming back to our warrior two. Let's straighten both legs. And hands come to hips, feet are parallel. Let's raise the chest and fold forward into a wide-legged forward fold. And allowing the head to rest on a block, on the floor, wherever feels comfortable, just letting the spine hang from the hips. And then you're going to take your hands, press them under your shoulders, giving yourself length. And we will turn out the left foot today, so it's pointing towards the left edge of the mat, and then come down, bending into that left leg to a side lunge. Hands can come to prayer. Really let yourself feel the stretch on the inner part of the right leg. And then pressing into hands. We'll just take that to the other side. Bending into the right leg, left, straightening the left. And then pressing up. You can bring your hands under your elbows as you bring your heel toe your feet in. And let's come down to a yoga squat for a moment. And then from the squat, leaning forward into your hands, and we'll come to our backs on the mat. Feet are going to be hip width apart. Knees are pointing upwards. And just allow yourself to feel the length of the spine along the mat here. And then you're going to press into your feet, curling the tail up, lifting each vertebrae, and just you can let the arms just fall open here. You lift the hips, lifting through the chest, pressing into the feet, and then allowing that to come down back to the mat, vertebrae by vertebrae, really as if you could place your awareness in each vertebrae as it made its way up and down into the curve. So let's do that again. Inhaling, beginning with the tailbone, curling away from the mat. And then it moves through the lower part of the spine as it lifts And then lifts the thoracic spine and up. We're not gonna lift our neck off the mat, but feeling the weight really distributed evenly around the girdle of the shoulders, back of the head on the ground, and really pressing into those feet, keeping the knees parallel, giving yourself a real stable base to come out of here. If you would like to, you can interlace your hands underneath the body, rolling the shoulders under, which can give you slightly more of a lift, lifting the hips a little bit higher, and then you can release. And again, rolling down vertebrae by vertebrae, really feel each one come into contact with the mat. Allowing yourself to rest a moment. And we'll take one more bridge. So feet are hip width apart, knees pointing up, pressing into those feet as you lift the tailbone, curling up vertebrae by vertebrae, interlacing the hands underneath the body, just really lifting the whole body, pressing into the feet, pressing up through the hips, pressing up through the chest, and that your hands energetically pressing into the mat also. And then you can come down vertebrae by vertebrae. We'll let the knees come wide to a Baddha Konasana for a moment, placing one hand on the heart, one hand on the belly. Let your awareness and attention permeate your body. Feel where you may be holding tension, where it may need a release. And then you're going to bring your knees up again, bringing the right foot over the left and letting it just drape to the left. Your left hand can be on top of your right thigh as you look out over the right arm. And then release one side of the twist and we'll come back to the other, placing the left leg over the right and just letting it fall to the right. Right hand can hold the top of the left thigh, left arm extends, and the gaze reaching out over the left arm. Feeling the openness of the chest here, the shoulders dropping. We'll bring that back up to center, hugging the knees in, bringing the forehead to the knees, holding yourself in a small bowl, and then releasing each leg along the mat, arms either side, palms facing open, feeling the pelvis relax into the ground, feeling the feet fall open, making any adjustments you need to be as comfortable as you possibly can during your resting posture and resting. Let it all go.
When was the last time you allowed yourself to fully stop? To fully be silent? To let everything relax and release? Not as an act of going to sleep, but as an act of conscious intention. Feeling the breath moving through the body, perhaps beginning to deepen. Taking the moment to absorb the quality of stillness your body is inhabiting. As you feel and cultivate that sense of stillness, beginning to organize the energetic body towards movement, slowly moving the fingers, the toes, rolling the neck. Finding gentle movement that will bring you to fetal position on one side. Again, when you get to fetal position on one side, just rest. Notice. Notice the quiet. Notice the stillness. And as you're ready, slowly keeping the eyes closed or very softly focused, bringing yourself to a seat, comfortable seat, supported seat, feeling the spine lengthening. Breathing in, breathing in, breathing in, breathing out, breathing out, breathing in. Has the quality of your breath changed in the last hour? How much have we noticed the breath in the last hour? Allow yourself to notice your breath now. As we inhale and exhale, and then inhale to inhaling, exhaling, inhale. Oh. Thank you so much for joining me today. It's a reminder that ultimately this is a self-led practice. We all have the tools and movement and breath work and meditation to take ourselves through practice. And it's every part of that is an opportunity to notice how we're engaging with our body, with our breath, with our mind, qualities of stillness, qualities of quiet. And it's all self-led at the end of the day. I am so grateful for the awareness and the attention that you are bringing to yourself and to each other. Thanks for practicing with me today. Everybody take care. See you soon.